Okay, so one thing I neglected to mention in the previous video is how to save your template. And this will be very quick. Dorico doesn't support making custom templates, so you just hit Control S and that's how you save your template. It's you're really just saving a project, like an empty project. So I would do I'm on PC here, so it's Control Shift S for save as, and I would do film template 1. Okay, well, I'll just call it film template 9000. And then once you want to use it to, for a new project, or if you're going to import MIDI, then you would open the template, immediately do a save as, whatever the name of the project is, and then go about your work, right? So that's the saving template situation in Dorico at the moment. Okay, notice this bracket and bar line change. That's called a signpost. The reason it's there is because down here I got rid of these brackets on violin 1, 2. So it's just telling us that I've made a change to that. If you find it distracting, you can go over here, signposts, and you can just hide that signpost. Easy peasy. All right, today we're going to deal with the project title, composer, all that info that you normally see at the top of a score. And it's, again, a little different from how we would do things in Sibelius. We do use tokens, which are in Sibelius what you call wildcards, but there's a whole different way of thinking in Dorico, and it's this master page thing. So here's what not to do, for instance. Just double click on the title and go, my big project. When I do that, now we have this little flag here saying, "Oh no, you've made a change to the master page." No, don't do that. You can totally do that, but that's kind of not how Dorico is meant to function. So what we do is Dorico uses these things called master pages, and it's a way of it's almost like a template within your template. It's a template for how you set up pages in your project. We're going to look at the first master page. Okay. So this blue square here, and by the way, you can, if you just Google Dorico master pages, there's some really excellent YouTube videos on this stuff, so I won't go into it at any great detail. So there's a blue frame, which is where the music will go. And then up here we have these tokens, project title, project composer, project lyricist, and copyright down here. And those will get populated by info that we put in a different menu, because right now it's untitled project. And down here where there was a copyright token, there is nothing. So I'm going to hit Control I for project info, and we're going to put in the name of our project. So this would be the title of the film, right? For subtitle, we're going to put in recording score. In fact, you could fill in whatever info you want here. Copyright 2020. On Mac, copyright, the symbol is Option G. On PC, it's Alt 0169. Ha! Amazing. Okay, great. Now, there's one more thing, which is we could apply, whatever. We're going to go down to flow 1. This is the first song in the project. And we're going to copy info from project. Great. However, we're going to immediately make a change. We're going to change the title because the title will be the first cue title. So we don't need the recording score subtitle thing. This is Bad Guy Dies. Bit weird for that to be 1M1, but whatever. And that's all we need. Okay. Great. So when we close this, hey, cool. Now, saying one bad guy dies, that's not very filmic. So we're going to make our own custom first master page. So we're going to go down here and we're going to make the first film master page based on first, and it is a first type master page, default being any non-first page. So here we are. So here's where we see our tokens. Now, we probably don't need a lyricist. We are instead we're actually going to make a custom thing. It's like a count-in, because in film music you're recording to a click, and it's very helpful for everybody, for the musicians, for the conductor, even for the engineers, to be able to see how many beats are going to play before you actually start playing the music, right before bar one, and that will line up with the Pro Tools session or with whatever other DAW is being used. So we're going to say X clicks free. I've also seen X clicks in. Free makes sense. We're going to make it bold and center it, and then shrink this text frame, and we are going to go down here and show the border, and we're going to make it thicker. Cool. The idea being you just replace the X with whatever, what is it, numerator, denominator? Whatever the number is that you're counting to. So if it's 4, 4, you would replace the X with 4. Or if it's really fast 4, 4, you would say 8, right? 2 bars in. It's just for clarity's sake. Okay, now we're going to hit apply and see what happens. Hey, cool. And there it is. What else can we add? We could do something like, so we're going to go back here. We could go over here to this top frame if you wanted to. So this is Project Composer, which will fill in with whatever name you put in the info page. But you, if you wanted to, you could write, you know, music by, right? And then you could italicize the token itself, and that will italicize once, you know, it'll actually italicize the name. You could add an arranger, whatever you want. We're going to do something kind of fun, which is we're going to add a couple of tokens in below the title. So the first will be the subtitle, which in our case is recording score. And we are just going to do that by right-clicking and inserting like that. So you don't actually need to type out these tokens ever. Now I'm going to make it smaller. And then this is kind of a cool one. Oftentimes you will work with multiple versions, and it's really important, especially if you're working with other people, like if you're sharing a score back and forth. I've been in situations where I've spent hours editing something only to learn that it was a previous version of the score, right? So you might type in right up here like V2 or something, or version 1.3 or revised or whatever. But you can also do this, which I think is really cool. Right click, there's a token, project save date. So you could do like that. And that will actually change depending on when you hit Control S or Command S. So let's see what this looks like. I apply the changes, I go over here. There you go. I think that's really cool. And you could make this smaller, or bold it, or italicize it, or put it down here, but it just gives you something to work with. Okay, we're going to do one more thing in the first master page, and that's just, we're going to make another text frame, and we're going to write C score. Because the conductor should know if it's a transpose score or transposing score or a C score. I mean, they can figure that out just by looking down the left side of the page and seeing key signatures, but we're considerate people. So this means we're going to need to add a text frame. And to do that, we go over here, this little ABC, we're going to drag a frame, and then we're going to type in it, C score. Cool. And it's basically as easy as that. Frames can get a little bit unwieldy in Dorico. For instance, I want to put this up in the top left-hand corner. So I'm going to do that. Like that. And then if I say, oh, well, actually, I want to drag this over a little bit, and I grab it and I drag, go, okay, cool. Oh, right. It's actually very difficult, I find, to manage resizing frames when you're already like in a frame. Like I can do the right edge, but if I do the left, it resizes. I don't know. It's just a little wonky. Okay, so that works, thankfully. And I don't know what the font should be there. That looks okay to me. Let's see if this, okay, good. Nice. That looks nice. And now if we exit engrave mode, I think that looks good. Now here, if we go to engrave, you'll see we're using, well, these are our pages, right? This is page 1, which is using our first master page. Page 2 is using our default master page. It would be really weird. Like I could do this. I could right click on this, change the master page to, oh no, I did page number change, hang on. So I can right click, insert master page change. This, you would never do this. Yeah, use that. Right, there it is on the second page of music. So this is in fact like bar 25 over here, but we have our title. Why would you ever do that? Okay, looks good. Now watch what happens, and this will happen every time you make a change to something that is in a master page. So I'm going to change this to 4. And now we get this little warning flag saying it's called a master page override. So you've done something that is not on the master page. You've changed something. That will happen if you change the title manually. Generally speaking, the way Dorico behaves, you want to make changes like this inside a master page, not to the page itself. It's just, I don't know, just one of those things. Okay,